Welcome. In this video, we're going to go through the buying process. In the last video, we set up our first item. So in this one, we're going to go through how you request, order, and receive inventory. And these are all going to be purchases from an external vendor. So we're on our item page, and you can see here that we've got none in inventory. Our reorder point's 10, and it's red because we're below that. And we've got nothing coming in. No vendor set up. So let's first go through here and add a vendor. See, because it's a new account, we have no vendors. We're going to create a new vendor. And let's just say it's the wheel company. That's the only required field. You've got a bunch of other information. You can put in the website, email, contact, notes about the vendor, but we can do that later. So we'll hit submit, and it brings us to our wheel company page, and we have nothing on order, and our information that we didn't put in is right here. We can always come in here and edit and add more information, but let's first go back to our item. So we're back to our wheel, and we see again we want to go ahead and add our vendor. You can see it showed up here in our pull down. We could, if we had 50 vendors, we'd just pick the one we want. And we're going to hit submit. And what this does is creates the record that the wheel company is a supplier to us for this item. We have no pricing, and that's what we're going to first want to do. So we're going to go ahead and put in our price list by hitting the $, and it brings us up to 4 levels of pricing. And we can go ahead and put in our tiers. So let's say right off the bat it's $11 for 1 to 10. 11 to 20 is $10, and 21 to 100 is $8. We can also put in a vendor part number. So let's say this, this is going to be the part number that when we order it from the vendor, it's their part number. They know what we're talking about. And we can put in a web link, which gives a link to the buyer. Just click on, if it's something you can buy with a credit card, they're going to go ahead and find it. If it's something you place a purchase order, they can research it and see if the pricing has changed and whatnot. So we'll leave that blank and just hit submit. So again, we're on the item page. We see we have a wheel company. Our price range is $8 to $11. We can go ahead back here and add another vendor. You can add as many as you want. If we look at the wheel company, we see, again, there's nothing there. So let's go ahead and make our first request. And this is going to be driven by maybe a job where someone's planning a bill of material and they need more parts, somebody working their reorder points. For whatever the reason is, we need more parts. And so let's say it's a job and we're going to build it on the 1st. We've scheduled that. And now we got to pick how many we need. It kind of makes sense looking at this. If it's a part that we think, is stable, let's go ahead and buy 22 of them. The least amount we can and get the biggest price break. And we're going to go ahead and set it for the 1st. So we hit submit. And now the first thing you can see on the item page is we've got in this rightmost square, total incoming is now 22. That's what we've requested. See the date we need it by, how many we need, our company that we're buying it from, our vendor, as well as the purchase order number, or purchase rec number. So let's look at the wheel company. You can see now we're back to that page just for the vendor. And as you add more requests and history, you're going to see it here. This one we requested on the 19th. It's needed by the 1st. And you can click here and go ahead and order it. If we go back to our item, we can also look at it from the request number. So this is purchase rec number 1. You can see the item, the note about the item. So this is the screen you go to. If you're the buyer, you're going to go ahead and place an order either on your credit card, write a check, use your accounting system, issue a PO, whatever you do to transact and actually move money, that's where you'll go or you'll use. In this case, we need it by the 1st. The date, we need 22. The plan cost currently is 10. Our expected unit cost is $8. So we think we're going to save some money. Our total purchase rec is $176. It's from the wheel company, and here's the vendor part number and the person and the date that requested it. So let's come at this from one other angle. Again, we could just hit confirm here and start the process of placing the order. Let's go to the dashboard, because this is where a lot of information is presented from a day-to-day, what do you need to do? And you can see here, these are our purchases, these are our jobs, this is our inventory transaction, and our purchase request P1 has shown up. See the information about it, when it's needed. We still have time, so it's order is turquoise. If we were late, it's going to be red. Hopefully it's not red too often when you're just placing the order. So let's go ahead. If you're the buyer, this is going to be kind of your workbench. Let's click order. And again, it brings us back to that purchase rec screen. This is purchase rec number P1. We know the item, the information. And now we're going to go into our accounting system or whatever, place the order with the vendor. Let's just say the vendor said, you know what, we can deliver it on the 30th. The order quantity, we're good with 22. The cost is 8. But you know what, the vendor is going to charge us $9.99 for shipping. And so the nice thing about marginSHARK is we're capturing all your costs. So you really know what things are. You can compare one vendor true cost. You know, if somebody's free shipping but more, or a lower price and higher shipping, you're going to be able to look at that. And as we discussed in the previous video, every time you place a purchase order, you're going to be able to update your plan cost. So it was $10, and you can pull down and say no. So let's say this is a one-time buy, emergency, you need it tomorrow, you pay a bunch of shipping, air freight, you pay too much. We don't want to update our plan cost with that because that's not our operating model. We want our accounting system to keep track at $10. We're going to know the purchase cost was higher, but we're not going to change our pricing standard. But in this case, you know, we just negotiated the vendor down to 8, and we want to make this our plan cost moving forward. And you can put in a note. This is going to be the note for the purchase. And Bob said he's going to be early. And not only did he say it, he promised it. So let's go ahead and put that in a note. This is going to stay with this purchase. Hit submit. And now we come back to our dashboard. You can see we finally have some data. You can tell we got $186 placed to vendors. $186 is to be received. It's not yet in inventory, but it gives you a good visibility in terms of what cash is going to go out, what's coming in. If you place an order to a vendor, you're kind of committed to it. And so we want to plan our cash, and that gives us good visibility. If you're the buyer, you can tell that there's no active purchase recs. You're doing your job. But if you're in the warehouse, now you have visibility of what's coming in. And you can always go here and see the long list. But right off our dashboard, we can see the top items. This would be larger if there's more. We just have our one. But again, we know what day it's going to come in, what the part, the quantity. And so if you're working receiving, you just come in here, hit receive. When you see the parts, count them. You know who did the request. You can always provide them feedback. You know who placed the order in case they need to follow up. Got information about the item. You got the vendor notes. So we counted them. We got 22. We're going to confirm the receipt. Let's just go ahead and say it is the 30th, not today. We received 22. Hit submit. So now back on our dashboard, the actual order to vendors is a little higher because of the shipping, but we no longer have anything to be received, and we have $186 in inventory. No open purchase recs. Everything's been received. And we can go right to that purchase item, look at the history. Excuse me, let's go right to the item. We see here now that we have our plan cost has changed to $8.45. That's down from the $10 that we thought, our estimate. We changed it on the 19th. And I should say that $8 includes 45 cents because we distributed that $9.99 of shipping across all 22 parts we ordered. We can always come down here and see the history. We see the plan cost change was $10. Now it's $8.45. And we also see the history of when things were ordered, when they were received. And we also see our last cost. So right here we got a last cost of $8. We've got our received quantity. We know when it was received, who delivered it. It took them 11 days to deliver, and we have 45 cents on top of that $8 for shipping. So now we have a real good picture of what our recent costs were, so we know where we stand if we're making money. We can also look at it from a vendor perspective. We see the wheel company, it's our one vendor right now, and you can track all their performance in terms of if they were late, were they on time, how long did it take them, and look at all the performance of your vendors on their own page. So that's as simple as purchasing. You're going to place a rec. Anybody can do it. It could be for a job or minimum stock quantity. You request it. Somebody goes and places the order and confirms to the purchase requester that it's going to be on time, what the cost is. You're going to be able to update your standard cost, receive it, and get those in inventory and get them shipped out so you can make some more money. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or want to create an account for your business, just go to marginSHARK.com. Thank you.